This conference will now be recorded.
So in our last class, we started discussing about how to handle your CSV files and how to write and how to read and do some kind of exercise operations on CSV files. These are things what we discussed. Now we'll try to understand how to handle Excel files also. For CSV file, we have module called CSV. For Excel files, we have a module called XLS Writer. So when it is the XLS Writer also a third-party module, not inbuilt module of Python. So as a initial step, we have to install in your Python environment. So I'm going to CMD and I just given my path and pip install XLS Writer. So since it's a third-party library, you have to make it as the library is available. Like go to run CMD cd slash c colon no, c Python 37 cd Python 37 cd scripts. In this location, as you are already aware, where is C drive? Python 37 is related to Python 3.7. Since while installing, I given the path like this. Within this, in under scripts, you can find all the scripts, pip related scripts. So by coming to this environment, you can able to install any third-party libraries. As I told you, XLS Writer also third-party module. You can able to install by coming to the particular location. So pip install XLS Writer. In case if it's already installed, it will show the requirement is already satisfied. If you are installing the first time, it will show that it is installing the first time. XLS Writer. You can see here it's already installed in the particular location. Once you install that particular package, you can able to work with your Excel files. So XLS Writer is a Python module for creating an Excel or XLS X files. So there are Excel.xls or .xlsx files. If you want to be handled, you have to install XLS Writer. And here one more thing I want to say, XLS Writer I'm using. I'm using a term once again, XLS Writer. So you can able to do writing operations. So pip install XLS Writer. As I told you, you're going to CMD and in the command prompt you are going to be go to the right location where you have the scripts pip scripts. From there you are going to be installed. So XLS Writer can only create new files, write operations you have it, but it cannot read or modify any existing files. So there is a condition. It's not like CSV to read and write. So here for XLS Writer, you can able to write a file, but if you want to read an existing file or if you want to modify an existing file, XLS Writer is not going to be help you. That module doesn't have that functionality. So that is a catch you have here. So import XLS Writer. Once you install in a in your command prompt, come to your Python environment and use a term called import XLS Writer. Then only you can able to utilize the functionality of your XLS Writer module. Now I want to create a new workbook. So what I'm doing is the how you are going to write it means a class name dot function name. If you remember when we discussed about classes and functions, if you want to operate any function which is already available in a class, you have to prefix with class name. Similarly, XLS Writer is the module. So XLS Writer dot workbook. So what you want to be opening, so it is nothing but a workbook sheet. You want to be the file you want to be used. So workbook is a function to open a new file. In bracket, the file name what you want to be open. So student marks.xlsx. So here there is another catch. In case wherever you open your Python file, for an example, my Python files are here. So CSV Excel file is here. So my Excel file is here. That means when I'm writing my Excel as writer, system assumes that this is going to be my current working directory or current location where I can read or write operations, not only for Excel as writer, for anything, any kind of script. So if I'm going to give only the file name dot extension, system assumes that I need to create a new file within the same folder where my script is available, Python script. No, Amma, the script, the file or the Excel has to be available in somewhere else, not in the current directory, nothing but day 53. It should be somewhere under day 52. Then give the entire syntax here. Give the entire syntax here. So I'll give Python Yamini slash test files slash day 52 slash file name dot extension. Hope you can understand what I'm trying to say. Any questions on this? When to give the full name or when to give the partial name?
No.
So once you decide you want to create a new workbook, new XLS file or XLSX file, instead of going forward, instead of giving it the entire length of the word, I'm storing this link in a new place called a new variable called workbook. So going forward, if I use a workbook, it assumes that, and you can see I'm using a small letter, not a capital letter, not a function. So it is my new variable. So when I use a workbook, it's nothing but the entire syntax, whatever I have it here. Now within this workbook, I need to create a sheet, Excel sheet. So workbook, nothing but the entire syntax. You have an option to write entire syntax dot add underscore worksheet. So what system will do is system is going to create a new worksheet for in a book called studentmarks.xls. Now I need to update the details within the sheet, whatever you created. I need to update the details. So details, since I not given any name here, like a test sheet, since I'm not given any name, system by default will take sheet 1 or and sheet 2 and sheet 3 go and so on. Default names it will take. Now I need to update the details. So details equal to, I'm just adding another line, details equal to, in your tuple I am maintaining a different list. So my first list is English and 75, the marks which is scored by student, since it's a student Excel, max 95, physics 60, chemistry 85. So these are my details. Now I need to update this information. What I'm doing here is I'm assuming when I open your Excel, okay, my 2007 Excel will not work. So 2013 I don't have a product key. You can able to view, but you cannot able to manipulate. Now you can see here, I need to update my marks here. You have to decide whether you want to update here or here or here. You have to decide where you want me update. So for that, I need to decide which row and which column number. So I want to update English word in my first list, first value, row 0 and column 0. 0 is nothing but A1, and row 0 column 1 nothing but B1. So those are nothing but position numbers, and total has to be updated under row 5 column 0. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? The position numbers.
Yes, Amma.
So the same thing what I'm doing here, start the first cell where you want to be start. So row, I'm giving variable names like a row and column. These are not the functions or something. Row and column I'm deciding 0 and 0. Now I am doing the for loop for iteration to update all the values. So for what I want to be updated is nothing but subject and the marks. These are the headings. So subject and marks. In details, details is the location where I have my data. So worksheet dot write, I'm writing the data in row 0 and column 0, comma subject. So 0 0 subjects will be updated. So subjects will be updated. The first one. And worksheet dot write row comma column plus 1. So if I have a 0, it will take it as 0 plus 1. And marks has to be updated. Since I have a list, my first one will treat as subject, second one treat as the columns. Now again add row plus 1, again add row plus 1. So for loop, the iteration will be repeated till it completes. Now I'm taking as a 2 parts, not a single part. So in a list, first one treat as a subject, second one will treat as a marks in a list. So all the subjects, nothing but English, maths, physics, chemistry. It's not meaning that you have to take a subject and marks. You can take A comma B. So first values will consider for a sub A, second values will be considered for B in a list. And if in case if you have three things, English 75 pass, maths 30 fail. So if you have three different values in a list, take A comma B comma C. So system will split that list A comma into first value go to A, second value come to B, and third value come to C. According to that, you can update your values, your worksheets. Clear? Any questions from Amini or Giri?
No.
Now, finally, I need to update my total value. So if I want to update my total value, I need to give a heading like a grand total or a total. So worksheet dot write, and once you complete your for loop, your row number will be something, maybe 5th or 6th. So row number, and in each column you want to be update grand total means where exactly all your subjects is there, in the same place I can maintain. So this is going to be your column names 0, comma the heading what you want to give. Similarly, worksheet dot write in bracket the row number where you have after completion of your for loop, comma in a first column, nothing but B column. I'm giving some function. I'm operating some function, aggregate function, sum of B1 to B4, nothing but Excel function only. So the system is going to be aggregate all the values and it will give us 315. And once you complete your operation, write operation, you can close your workbook. So this is the way you're going to work with your Excel files. Now, if you observe here, I just given names like subject and marks, but I'm not able to give the headings here. I just updated the test values or list values directly, but what is the heading of your A column? What is the heading of your B column? I'm not given anything. So how to update your headings? That is also important. Now you can see here, I just added one simple syntax called, where is this? I just added one simple syntax to your existing code that is called write some data headers. So once you have your details, I am deciding what headings you want. So worksheet dot write A1 is the location I want subject to be there, and B1 is the location I want marks to be there. If I'm coming here, A1 is nothing but the location where you have English. It should have a heading called subject, and B1 is the location where I want marks. So I just given the location name and the marks. Now what I'm doing is I'm just taking a tricky step. Earlier row number is started from 0, but now the row number starts from 2 or 1. So row number is going to be 1 and column number is default 0 only. Column number is not changing, but row number is changed. So 1 and 0. And same for loop, same total and some values. Nothing is changed. So that you get your headings. You can see subject and marks and your marks. Any questions? From any question? Great. Now I want to add multiple sheets. One sheet for Amini, one sheet for Giri. So can I able to do that? Means yes, we can do. Just create 2 sheets, and one sheet I'm using for test 1. By instead of using a sheet 1, sheet 2, I'm using my own names. So workbook.add worksheets in bracket. Earlier it was a empty open close bracket, like you can see here. Add worksheet open and close bracket. Our system default taken sheet 1 and sheet 2, the names. But I want to give my own names. So in a single, double or triple quotation, I'm just giving the test name. I mean the name what you want to be displayed. So test 1 and test 2. Now I have my details. The first one is belongs to Amini, nothing but test 1, and second details belongs to Giri. Now the first detail 1 has to go to test 1, details 2 has to go to test 2. There is no difference. The only one step what I'm doing is I'm taking 2 for loops. Now row 0, column 0 for subject and marks, because I have 2 columns as a list in details 1. You can see here I'm taking details 1 and run your worksheet. And similarly for details 2, I am running one more sheet. Now if you observe here, I'm using worksheet 1, here I'm using worksheet 2. So worksheet 2 means the second sheet, nothing but test 2 will be work. Worksheet 1 is nothing but sheet 1 will work, test 1 will work, because these are the variables which I refer where you want to be updated. Now give the some details and finally close your worksheet, nothing else. So it will work like this. 2 sheets. Any questions? Now so far whatever I explained you is for writing in Excel when you have some summary of the data. Now how to read in Excel and how to modify the data means there is another package called XLRD. XLRD is the package will help you to read and modify the data. This is also third party package, so you have to go for pip install package name in your command prompt. So once you install pip install package name, come to your Python environment and import XLRD. So you can able to use the functionality of XLRD, nothing but you can able to retrieve the information, you can modify the information, and finally you can update it. So how to do that one means I'm just trying to open an Excel which is already existing. So I have Excel like this: EID, e-name, salary, department number, and the city. Some file I have it. So to open a file, XLRD.open a workbook and the location where the file is existing. So directly I can give the entire syntax like a d:\emp.xlsx, or you can store the entire path in one variable and give the variable name. So the workbook is going to be open. Now within that workbook, what is a sheet? So workbook.sheet by index. So you're going to give the sheet. Now which rows you want to be read? I want to read a particular row with nothing but A1 column I want to read. So sheet.cell value, the row number and column number 0 and 0. So you can able to read the particular cell. If you want to read everything, no need to give this one, just sheet you can refer. Now I want to read number of columns and I want to know how many number of columns I have, how many number of rows I have. So the syntax is print sheet.nrows sheet.ncalls. Nrows is going to be tell you number of rows, and ncalls is going to be tell you number of columns. You can see number of columns. Any questions? I want to know number of the names of columns. So what are the column names are available in my sheet? So those scenario, what I can do is you can use a for loop to pick up each column name and each column name in a first row. So I'm setting my sheet cell value as a 00 initially. Later on, I will increase the column name. I will not change the row name, but I'll change the column name. So for I in range, sheet dot ncalls. Ncalls is nothing but number of columns. So I in range of 0 to 5 or 0 to 4 n minus 1. So print sheet dot cell values in bracket. The row is going to be static, but column is going to be dynamic. So I given I value here. So every iteration row number will be 0 and column number is going to be increment of one number. So it will be 0, then 1, then 2, then 3. So automatically the cell value will be picked and it will be displayed. You can see in the right hand side blue color, EAD, ENAME, salary and DNAME. Now I want to pick up a particular column in respect of other information. I've just skip everything, but I want one column only. So one column is nothing but the column name is standard, but row numbers are changing. So your column is going to be static, your row numbers are going to be dynamic. Now I'm taking 0 0. Which row you want? You have to decide. And sheet.nrows. Sheet.nrows is a number of columns it is available. For I in range of n rows number of rows. Now sheet dot cell values I comma 0. So I is going to be 0 and it is going to be 0, column is going to be 0, so it is going to take e name as the first one, nothing but heading. And the second iteration 1 comma 0, 1 comma 0 is nothing but Miller. You can see here and so on. Similarly, a particular row I want, not particular column, particular row I want. Particular row is nothing but row is going to be constant. Now, no need to depend on two things. One, you don't need to be called cell by cell. Entire row you can call in one stretch called row underscore values. When you use row underscore values, system is going to display entire row. Now, I want all the rows to be displayed. Then you have an option to use iterate option. You have nothing but for option you have. So sheet row values in bracket I is nothing but in each iteration it will be picked from 0 to range of sheet number of rows. So every time it will be displayed one after one. So first it will take the name headings, then it will take the first row, second row, third row, and so on. So any questions? Amar, you're explaining this XLRD, then XLS writer and CSV file, CSV module. Do you think that it is going to be a lengthy subject for me? And do you think that in reality we are doing means by God grace we have a package called Pandas. So Pandas has functionality whatever I explained you in a single step. No need to have multiple packages or multiple modules to do multiple exercises. Your Pandas will do everything. So from Pandas import read Excel. So this module called Pandas has a functionality called read Excel. This functionality can read all your Excel files. So how many type of imports we have? Yamini or Giri?
Input things like CSV, Excel.
Not those. Those are modules. Type of inputs. In case if you have some third-party import, how many type of imports we have? One is a normal import. Install pandas. Second one here I used from import, from pandas import. If you observe here the functionality I used import XLRD, right? The first line is import XLRD. It is nothing but normal import. Since it's a normal import, whenever I'm going to be use the package name or the function name of related to the package, then I need to prefix it. So XLRD dot function name or the module name dot function name. I have to give a prefix. And there is another import called from import. So when I'm using from option, from module, import the function or class name, then no need to prefix with your module name. Directly I can use this functionality. Are you getting my point? So from import is nothing but when you're importing from any class or module, any function, no need to require to give prefix as a pandas. So pandas dot read Excel. No need to give like that. In case if I use just install pandas, if I use install pandas, then it's a normal import. Whenever I use read underscore Excel, I have to prefix with pandas dot read Excel. When you use a from import, the system is going to be install all the functionality. I mean, its system knows that read Excel has been imported from pandas because you already given prefix as from import. No need to prefix with anything. Hope you are getting what is the difference between two different type of imports. So going forward, if you are seeing any program which is written by one of your colleague, no need to be worried. There is no prefix of module name or a class name. Just see whether it's a normal import or from import. Then you could take an action according to that. Clear what I'm trying to say?
Yes, Samar. These pandas are inbuilt.
No, you have to. It's a third party. Pandas, Numpy, everything is third party. If you remember the first day I told you when I installed Matplotlib, that time the supporting package like Numpy also installed.
Yes.
So all these are third parties, but the functionality wise, these are very good. So whatever I explained in the last 2 days or 3 days, in a single step it will be over. From pandas import read Excel. So the functionality of read Excel can be imported from the system knows that this function has been imported from pandas. So no need to prefix with pandas anymore. In case if you use install pandas as PD or install pandas. So here I'm installing the package, but I did not mention anywhere. So as a function, I'm going to be refer from pandas or some XYZ module. So you have to prefix with your package name. So that is the difference between from import or normal import. Now what I'm doing is I want to create a new sheet. So my sheet equal to sheet 1. So I'm just referring a string. So my new name I want to sheet 1, and I'm going to be save it into a variable called my sheet. It can be A or B also. Similarly, the file name how I want to be saved as employee.xlx. So the new file what I want to be create is employee.xlx and store it into a new variable called file name. Now I want to create a new file. Sorry, I want to read a file. So when I want to read a file, read underscore Excel. So read underscore Excel is the functionality to read a file from where it's existing. So the file name comma sheet name equal to my sheet. So in the file called emp.xlx, in this file, sheet is called sheet1. I want to read the data and store it into a variable called df. So the data which is available in employee sheet 1 is available now in df. So when you say print.head, nothing but print df.head. So df is nothing but where I store my data. Dot head is nothing but system is going to show top 5 rows. You can see here top 5 rows here. Instead of Amar, why you're taking as 3 steps like sheet name and file name? No need to be worried. Directly you can give the entire file name, comma sheet name. Sheet name equal to sheet name. Directly you can give. So this is just to simplify your work and for better understanding, I just thrown into new variable or directly in a single step, read underscore Excel in bracket, file name, nothing but employee.xlx, comma, sheet name equal to sheet 1. You can give like that also. System is going to be read the data from the EMP file and store it into DF. Now when you say DF, print DF, system is going to display all the rows, whatever I have. But for my understanding purpose, I want to see top 5 rows. So then you can use df.head. System is going to be show top 5 rows. It's not top header with rows. System is going to be show. Any questions? From anyone?
No.
So tomorrow we'll continue with pandas. It may take tomorrow 40-45 minutes minimum. And after tomorrow, Namphi. We'll close it.